In the near future, a Chinese spaceship returns to Earth with a newly discovered energy source known as Xianting. Within a few years, it replaces traditional energy sources, and cities experience unprecedented and rapid growth. Unfortunately, using so much of this energy attracts the attention of a species of aliens who one day send their ships to attack all major cities around the world in retaliation for stealing the Xianting. The attack comes as a complete surprise, leaving all of the cities in ruins and no Xianting to rely on. Eventually, the leaders of 97 countries convene in Shanghai for an emergency meeting to develop a unique defense system to save the world's last standing city. Using a simulation in which the aliens send their flying robots for another attack, the Gray Eagle team, consisting of Jiang, Zheng Yu, Yi Yi, and Pan, controls the latest military drone models to engage the robots in battle. Their teamwork is excellent because they all have skills that complement one another, and Commander Lin Lan trained them herself. Commander Yi Yun is pleased with the results and notices Zhang is especially good at piloting. Lin Lan confirms this by saying he is the best by far. Zhang was part of the logistical team that built the Shanghai cannon, which has allowed Shanghai to remain the last standing fortress. But as things worsened, he joined the battle team to assist. After another day of training, Zhang rushes to the elevator to leave with Lin Lan, whom he has a huge crush on. Today is Lin Lan's birthday, and Zhang wants to give her a flower, but he's shy and hesitant. Lin Lan has already left the elevator when he gathers his courage. Later at home, Zhang sends her a message about today's training and is pleased to see her response that he performed well. Yi Yun later informs Lin Lan that New Delhi has also been attacked by aliens and asks her to use the information gathered there to improve their defenses. Suddenly, Code Red is announced in the fortress. An alien mothership has appeared above Shanghai. People start panicking all over the city, but the soldiers quickly guide them to the appropriate shelters before joining their teams at the fortress. Among its many defenses, the city has a special force field that stops the mothership's laser beam as it launches its attack. However, the force field cannot hold up for long, and when the beam creates a hole, the aliens send an army of robots through it before the engineers can repair it. The pilots immediately launch their drones to combat them, taking care not to injure any civilians who are still fleeing to a shelter. One of the robots approaches the fortress and lands in the middle of the road, causing a car accident in which a girl is almost hit. Fortunately, Zhang pushes her out of the way just in time. The robot then begins shooting at everything in its path, prompting the artillery team to open fire in an unsuccessful attempt to stop it. Zhang tries to help as well, but Lin Lan's tank arrives and destroys it in seconds. The drones finish taking down the remaining robots just in time for the engineers to finish repairing the force field. So the mothership leaves the area for the time being. Later, the science division informs the committee that they scanned the mothership during the battle and discovered a weakness in it. The committee wants to use the Shanghai cannon to hit it, but Yi Yun refuses because a counterattack could endanger people's lives. Afterward, Yi Yun takes Lin Lan to a secure facility to explain that Shanghai has the last deposit of Xianting, which is highly unstable and the only thing that keeps the city running, along with the fortress and force field. If they fire the cannon, they will waste all of the remaining Xianting and render the city defenseless. The best way to keep the aliens at bay is to keep training their Eagle team so they can eventually replace the force field. Meanwhile, Zhang and his friends are hanging out on a rooftop, sharing a drink and fantasizing about what they would do with their lives if they were not at war. Pan in particular wishes to finish his bike and ride it freely. They are abruptly interrupted by an emergency call announcing that the city is being attacked again, so they rush back to the fortress, ready to fight. As usual, the force field rises to stop the incoming beams, but Pan notices something strange. Despite the fact that many holes have been drilled in the shield, the enemy robots continue to avoid attack. This makes him realize that this is a trap. The aliens are forcing them to repair the field repeatedly in order to exhaust Xianting and leave the city defenseless. The next time a beam passes through the field, it causes significant damage inside the fortress, allowing the robots to finally enter. The soldiers have no choice but to fight face to face, but bullets are insufficient and many die as a result. The Eagles join the battle as backup, but they are limited in their abilities and prefer to go inside to gain control of the drones. While the Eagles use the drones to start fixing the force field, the committee ignores Yi Yun's orders and sends a man to activate the cannon. They don't use full power to avoid losing all of their Xianting, but the mothership is hit hard enough. The Eagles also successfully repair the field, leaving the mothership with no choice but to leave. A nearby robot reveals that it is not as destroyed as previously thought. Later in the evening, the Eagles devote some time to their personal interests, and Zhang finally invites Lin Lan on a bike ride. However, this is a dream, and when Zhang awakens, he discovers more good news. The Eagles have been promoted as a result of their outstanding performance last night. Yi decides they need to celebrate their promotion, so the team goes to a club to have some fun, but Zhang can't stop thinking about Lin Lan. Yi notices his mood and advises him not to be afraid to confess his feelings to Lin Lan, because who knows if the aliens will allow it in the future. Later, the team watches on television as the man who shot the cannon receives an even better promotion, and during his speech, he mentions a loved one. Zhang misidentifies Lin Lan and becomes depressed. Later in the evening, Zhang visits a noodle restaurant for dinner and is surprised to see Lin Lan there. They discuss the pressure of saving the world and mourn the lives lost in battle. Given Lin Lan's nervousness, Zhang is finally brave enough to give her the gift as a way to cheer her up. Zhang sends her a message after she leaves, inviting her to meet the next day, and he is pleased to see that she accepts. The following day, Pan and Zheng Yu dress Zhang in a leather jacket to impress his date. However, Yi believes it is inappropriate and requires him to wear his uniform instead. Moments later, Zhang meets Lin Lan and is disappointed to learn that she only wanted to check on the generator. While Zhang performs the maintenance, Lin Lan tells him about her training days and how her father was a cold soldier who died in battle. Lin Lan can't stop crying at the memory, and as she looks up at the sky, she tells Zhang that she hopes they can create a future in which children can look up and see stars rather than the beams that maintain the force field. People become alarmed when they notice the ground beginning to split, as if an invisible earthquake has struck the area. Yi Yun informs the committee that the energy deposits are unstable, and the use of the cannon has exacerbated the situation, indicating that the force field may collapse soon. Suddenly, an alert warns them that cracks have appeared on the force field, so Yi Yun rushes back to the command center to direct the Eagles in repairing them. The field has returned to normal as a result of skilled teamwork, but only for the time being. At that point, a robot breaks through the roof into the command center and starts killing people. The soldiers attempt to stop it with their guns, but bullets cannot penetrate it. Pan tries hitting it with a fire extinguisher, but it doesn't work, and the robot hits him back before dragging him to the force field panel to disable it. Pan activates the self-destruct sequence with his dying breath, forcing Zhang and Zheng Yu to drag a crying Yi out before the room exploded. The force field returns to its original position immediately after the robot is destroyed. In the evening, the team takes a moment to pay respects to Pan and the other casualties, and Yi is given Pan's tags. When they return to their dorms, Zhang hands Yi Pan her bike key, which he had always wanted her to have. Later, the committee considers abandoning Shanghai, but Yi Yun refuses, revealing that he has devised a battle plan for their last chance. The plan is to disable the force field and direct all of that power into the cannon, making it powerful enough to destroy the mothership. The Eagles will have to be the defense rather than the shield, and the team accepts the mission despite the extreme danger. Yi Yun also instructs Lin Lan to remain in the Xianteng room and stand guard. All civilians are evacuated to shelters until the streets are completely empty, allowing soldiers to fight more freely with tanks on every corner. Before joining the fight, each soldier places an item in a box that will last 100 years in the event that the city is also destroyed. Zheng Yu leaves a letter for his parents, while Yi leaves Pan's keys. Zhang selects his phone, but first he sends a message to Lin Lang in which he admits his feelings. Unfortunately, it is not being sent due to current power issues. This time, the Eagles will have to fly actual planes rather than control drones. As soon as the force field is turned off, the alien robots descend and begin a fierce battle in the sky. The Eagles combine their aerial abilities with an army of drones, but it is insufficient, and a few robots fly past them to attack the command center. Yi Yun, who had encouraging last words for his team, died when the room exploded. The robots then begin to make their way to the Xianteng facility, prompting the Eagles and tanks to rush in to stop them. As another battle begins, with both sides losing soldiers by the second, Lin Lan checks the cannon and discovers it is fully charged. All they need to do now is wait for the mothership to move into position. The robots break through the ground defenses and one of them jumps onto Yi's plane. Zhang asks her to do a flip and flies closer to hit the robot with his own plane, effectively destroying the enemy, but also setting fire to his own wing. Zhang has no choice but to flee in the emergency pod, which lands in the midst of the battle. He immediately joins the fight with his guns, shooting at the robots as close as possible. When a robot is about to kill him, Yi appears and shoots it with her plane. Then she joins the fight on foot, determined to avenge Pan. Meanwhile, Zheng Yu flies toward the mothership, attempting to move it toward the cannon. There are too many robots surrounding him, so he requires assistance. Yi rushes back to the command center, and while thinking about Pan, activates a special grenade that destroys a large number of robots, sacrificing herself in the process. While Zhang rejoins Zheng Yu in the air with Yi's plane, the mothership finally moves. The cannon is immediately fired, resulting in a massive explosion that damages the surrounding buildings. When the dust settles, everyone is surprised to learn that the attack was unsuccessful because the robots defended the mothership. With almost no hope left, Lin Lan recalls why Yi Yun left her there. The cannon was fired with energy from the force field, but as a last resort, they can shoot once more with the remaining Xianteng energy. This will render the city powerless, causing the land to sink. Accepting the risks, the cannon begins to recharge as Zheng Yu and Zhang continue to protect it. A robot sneaks into the Xianteng facility and begins killing everyone in its path. But Lin Lan pulls the lever, activating the last resort. All of the buildings and land begin to sink, bringing the robot down with them, and Lin Lan delivers a heartfelt speech before dying, causing Zhang to cry. To make matters worse, the soldiers discover that the cannon's guidance system has been damaged during the sinking. Zhang instructs them to open and lock the infrared guidance device in his position so he can guide the cannon, while Zheng Yu flies ahead to clear the way. The robots take the bait and pursue him, and Zheng Yu self-destructs, bringing them down with him. Now that the mothership has no protection, Zhang flies right into it to serve as a guide, and the cannon fires its final charge, destroying the ship for good. Shanghai is gradually being rebuilt using traditional technology rather than Xianteng. It is then revealed that Jian survived by ejecting the pod just before the cannon hit, and he has been given the highest promotion. He still misses his team and enjoys revisiting the places where they used to hang out. One evening, he goes to the noodle restaurant, and a coworker brings him the box where he left his phone. When Zhang checks it, he discovers that his confession was sent, but Lin Lan only replied, "Received." Zhang sends her one last message, telling her to sleep well, with tears in his eyes. A flashback reveals that when Zhang decided to join the army, Lin Lan advised him on how to fill out the form. He fell in love with her that day, so he chose the fortress as his destination. All right, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, it really helps the channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and see you next time.